Hello everybody, welcome back to Vinyl Junkie Record Shop. My name is Mike and I'm going to do a video today showing some stuff I just picked up. It's a few days after Record Store Day, so probably a little bit of after effect of that. You know, I have an addiction. It's called music collecting, record collecting, and you know, hey, it's all good. I could do a lot worse things. Like I could drink a lot of this, but I don't. We'll get that in there. This is an Iron Maiden Trooper, Day of the Dead. Not a huge fan of the taste of those beers, but hey, the Iron Maiden stuff, I keep getting them. So let's just take a swig and see how it is. Ugh. It's not as good as the music. We'll just leave it at that. Whew. Okay, so I'm going to show you my used vinyl haul. Made a couple stops today. Went to a record shop in Indy and then a little thrift shop that's here nearby. And there were two things that I went to get, and of course I ended up coming back with about 20, I don't know. But anyway, let's get started. This is what I went to pick up. Well, yeah, we'll do the thrift shop first. I went to go pick this one up because I saw it the other day and left it behind and then thought I probably needed it. I'm going to show it to you. It's The Pretty Things. And this is an album called Savage Eye. I believe it's from 1976. That's the back of it. I'll take it out here in a second because that's part of why it's neat. So The Pretty Things. Pretty Things are a band that dates back to the Rolling Stones and the Kinks and maybe even slightly after the Beatles, but they were part of that British explosion, and they didn't quite get the recognition that some of those other groups did, obviously. The Pretty Things stood out because they were just a little edgier, rougher, dirtier looking than they didn't have that kind of clean schoolboy image that some of those British invasion bands had. It kind of translated into their early songs. But interestingly, in the mid-70s, they signed to, show the gatefold here. There's a gatefold with all the band members. And the only original member of the group on this album is a guy called Phil May, who's the vocalist. He's a really good vocalist. And I forget the name of the, I think Peter Tolson. Peter Tolson is the guitarist that came on board a few albums ahead of this. And this is, they were signed to, let me show you there's the original inlay there. And this is what's neat. They were signed to Led Zeppelin's label, Swan Song. Interestingly enough, at least on one of the original tunes from the band's second album, which is kind of regarded as their best output, one of the songs, Jimmy Page is credited as being a co-writer. So I'm sure there was some clearly some connection there that's I'm going to guess Phil May had with the band, at least Jimmy Page. But anyway, this is their attempt at a hard rock album, and it's a good record. It's got I think it's got 9 songs, and there's 4 really legit good rocking tunes. An opening track, Under the Volcano, great rocking song. Remember That Boy, that's really good. My Song is more of a ballad-esque kind of a laid-back track. It Isn't Rock and Roll, that's a good one. But there's a few really good tracks on here, and I thought it was worth picking up. It wasn't too expensive. So there's that. Another one that while I was there, of course, that was what I went in to get, and I started looking and thought, there were some things I left behind from other visits that I probably ought to revisit. So, of course, that's what I always do. I don't know if you can hear it very much in the background, but another one that I picked up there is America's Greatest Hits, just because it was kind of inexpensive, and I'm glad it was because it's not the best quality. I probably wouldn't have got it, but I kind of like having it back here in the record room where I could just throw it on the lesser expensive player and not worry about it. I mean, it plays, sounds okay. So for a few bucks, it's not bad. And I'm just going to show these in no particular order. But this is a classic jazz album from Wynton Marsalis. It's still got the hype sticker on it. It's still got the shrink wrap on it. It looks like it's in really good shape. It was just a few bucks also. But this is Hot House Flowers. This came out in the mid-'80s. I'm a saxophone player, so I didn't gravitate a whole lot towards Wynton, him being a trumpet player, but his brother Branford is on this album, and just a great set of musicians on this. And I just need some more jazz in my collection, and this is a bona fide classic. I don't know if this one won any awards, but I know that Wynton won a couple of Grammy awards for probably not this one. I don't think it was this one, but it's got some really good songs on it. Anyway, Wynton Marsalis, Hot House Flowers. Oh, the record's going everywhere. This one I found. I had to get this. Surprisingly, this is one I've never owned. I hope this one sounds good. Looks like it's in pretty decent shape, but this is Alice Cooper from the inside, and I got to get it out to show it because it's pretty cool. This is a concept album by Alice about a guy that enters a kind of a psychiatric facility, and some things don't go very well for him in there. But that's the front, and then you've got these doors that open on the back side here. And then the lyric sheet, I don't think there's on the actual sleeve, there's another picture of Alice, and then there's the lyrics. So this is from 1970, what-ish, I'm going to say probably 77. And usually the date is right out here where you can, 78, so I was close. 1978. It's a good record. And surprisingly, it's like I said, it's not one I've never had. In fact, I don't have it on any format. I've never had it on CD, cassette, or anything. So I am happy to have found one that I thought was in decent shape at a decent price. It seems like these record stores just kind of recognize artist names and think, it's Alice Cooper, oh, it's Black Sabbath, oh, it's it's Eagles. These records have to be really expensive. Shouldn't be that way. This one I picked up just because it was really cheap, and it's got one of the songs I remember that I really liked growing up on the radio, like 1979. So I don't know why I'm so tongue-tied today. I'm not really prepared, but hey, I do these things kind of just on the fly anyway. So, but anyway, it's Cliff Richard with "We Don't Talk Anymore." The title track, "We Don't Talk Anymore," is a single that I really enjoyed. I've probably got that single in my single collection somewhere, but I've heard this record before. It's pretty decent. I'd never had it, so I thought for the price I'd pick it up. But primarily that's for that song, "We Don't Talk Anymore." I've got another one. I'm going to try to find it now. I was kind of on that note. I saw a lot of albums in the place that had some kind of one-hit wonders on it, so I picked up another one. I think I left a couple. I was moving around and left a couple behind that I was going to get. But anyway, this one is Nick Gilder, City Nights. Not been a huge fan of Nick Gilder. To be honest, I don't know a whole lot about his story, his background, or his catalog, but I do know that Hot Child in the City was a really fond song of mine growing up. So this was on the Chrysalis label. I always liked that Chrysalis label. It was pretty simplistic with the butterfly and the colors. It looks pretty neat. But anyway, this was pretty much strictly for that song. I'm not familiar with a whole lot of his other stuff, but I really like that song, so it should be a good listen. Let's see, Nazareth. I'm going to show this one here. This is Playing the Game. Again, this isn't one of their best albums. I don't know that this one is as hard a rocking as some of the other stuff that I like from Nazareth, but I don't have this one, and I thought that I should have more Nazareth albums. Really good pictures of the band there. And this one is from 70. 70 sometime. I show my age with all these records that I really like. This is from 76. So I've kind of been doing, since I've picked up that Thin Lizzy live in Cleveland from 76 on Record Store Day, I've kind of wanted to do a dive into that year and take a look at some of the other albums that were released, just to kind of compare how the sounds were from some of the different artists. How the Nazareth sound compared to, say, Thin Lizzy, or to Kiss, or to Led Zeppelin, Black Sabbath, all the bands that were releasing things in 76. 76 was kind of a year where there was starting to be a little bit of experimentation. In fact, that Pretty Things album that I showed, that's from 76 too. So I'm going to work on that, maybe have an idea for another video to kind of show some of those, show some records from certain years. This one is one of my fond favorites from back in the day, back in high school. This is David Sanborn, A Change of Heart. David Sanborn is one of my favorite artists, and surprisingly, I don't have a whole lot of his vinyl in my collection, but this is just a great album, and a song called The Dream to end this album. A lot of sentimental value in that song to me. In fact, I transposed that, and that was one David Sanborn song that I could kind of play on alto sax, because this guy is one of the greatest saxophonists ever. Sadly miss him. Wanted to see him one more time before he passed, but that's not going to happen. But anyway, surprisingly, I've never had this one either. So now I've got that one, and then this is kind of a blind buy. I should know who this guy is. I don't. I hate that I don't, because I don't like not knowing things. I've heard the name, and I've probably seen this record before, but this is kind of a blind buy, just to see if I like it. It was only a few bucks, so if I don't like it, hey, it can go in the bin somewhere. Anyway, it's Frankie Miller, A Perfect Fit. And as I was looking through this, a couple things of note that I thought was interesting. A lot of guitar players on this album, so I like guitar players. But I did notice that drums are contributed by a couple guys, one of those being Chris Slade. And Chris Slade went on to play drums in The Firm, and then he recorded, I think, at least one album with AC/DC. So that's a connection to this. And then there are also some, Paul Carrack provided some backing vocals and played keyboards, and I recognize Paul Carrack from some yacht rock sounding things back in the 80s. So I don't know. I don't know what to expect with this. I don't know if it's going to be hard rock, soul rock, R&B rock, yacht rock. I don't know, but it looks like it's in really good shape. And like I said, just a few bucks. So I haven't picked up just a blind buy in a while. I thought that would be fun. All right, so that was from the Vintage Place. Up the irons. Now we'll go to what I brought home from the record shop. And again, this place posted some pictures online, so I knew they had this one particular record that I wanted to get, and I will show it. I will show it first. I went there to get this one. A lot of controversy with this album. Again, surprisingly, one that I didn't buy back in the day. I've never owned this album on any format either. I might have the CD. I'm not sure. But anyway, I've always wanted this vinyl record, and it's always been really stupid expensive everywhere I've seen it. But this one was for I thought, a really good price, and it's in decent shape. So now I have it. It's Kiss, Music from the Elder. Always thought that was a pretty cool album cover. Now, this album is probably worth a video of its own, and I will probably feature it in something else with some kind of subject matter. But this was very controversial. I'll show you the gatefold there. It does not have a lyric sheet or anything. I believe some of the original pressings came with a clear sheet that had some printing on it, but this one doesn't have it. But that's okay. It didn't come with any other kind of material. And, we have the internet, so I can look up any information about the record that I want to find out. It's got the kind of the hand and that kind of thing going on here. And this was Kiss kind of, wanting to, they were struggling after the release of Dynasty and Unmasked. Their fan base wasn't really kind of going for the rock sound, the poppy rocky sound, popish rock sound that kind of came from Unmasked, and clearly Dynasty was built for its era in the 70s with some disco elements. Still really good albums. So they got together with Bob Ezrin again, who produced one of the greatest albums of all time in Destroyer. And he had just finished working with Pink Floyd on The Wall, so the Kiss had this idea of doing a concept album. And Kiss and the concept album just aren't the best combination. I won't go into the storyline or anything like that, but I will say that it is Kiss, and even though the overall concept kind of was a failure, I think this record is far from a clunker. It has some fantastic moments on it, and if you give it a chance, you'll find some of those elements in here. It starts with fanfare, which is, if you put on a Kiss record, you don't really want to hear Leonard Bernstein and the Boston Pops or something like that, but that's what you get. So I imagine Kiss fans scratching their head, because honestly, I don't remember listening to this back in the day. Don't know why Kiss had fallen under my radar, but for some reason it had. Then we have Just a Boy, which introduces the main character, Odyssey. Really kind of not Kiss-oriented tracks, not a lot of rocking going on. Then we get Only You, which starts kind of soft, and you're thinking, man, what are we doing here? But as that song progresses and we get to the end, we get one of the more awesome and lost classic Kiss riffs of all time, I believe, written by Gene Simmons. The midsection and closing parts of Only You are just really, really good. Then Under the Rose is a fantastic song. It was Gene Simmons and Eric Carr co-writing that. Really great song. It not necessarily sounds a lot like what you'd expect from Kiss, but the song is great. Dark Light to introduce side 2. That's Ace's contribution to the album, and you would expect it to be a rocker, and it is a really great lost Kiss gem. World Without Heroes was a single from this album, and World Without Heroes, this album was released in 1981, I believe. That may have been the actual blueprint and prototype for the 80s power ballad, because if you listen to it, and I noticed this recently, it sounds an awful lot like Foreigner's Girl Waiting for a Girl Like You. Just listen to both of these songs back to back and see if you think that. So I think that World Without Heroes is, again, it's a fantastic song. You wouldn't expect it to be a Kiss song, but it really is. And that might have been the birth of the 80s power ballad. Then The Oath. The Oath, oddly enough, is one of Kiss's more metallic songs. In fact, The Oath might be one of the heaviest Kiss songs that they ever wrote. It's got some real metal riffs in it, and just fantastic. They performed that live a few times. There's video of them doing that from back in the day, and it's really good. And then Mr. Blackwell introduces the villain. It's a Gene Simmons cut, and it sounds like a Gene Simmons song. It's not real heavy, but it's really cool. And then you got Mr. Blackwell, I, to close it out. And I is a really good song. You hear some elements in that kind of remind you of what Kiss was doing with Bob Ezrin back in the Destroyer days. So that's a lot about The Elder. I just wanted to say that because that was really the purpose why I got out today. I saw online they posted that, called them up. Hey, you still got it? Yeah. All right, I'm on my way to get it. And of course, can't go in the record store and leave with just one damn thing. That's just the way it is. So while I was there, I saw a couple of other things that caught my eye. Again, this is one I've never had it. I might have it on CD. Never had the vinyl. But for the price and the condition it's in, it's really good shape. This is Sammy Hagar with 3-Lock Box. I love Sammy Hagar. And really, this era of Sammy Hagar, the trio of records that he put out, Standing Hampton, right before this, is I think one of the best hard rock albums of the 80s. And side 1 of that album, I think, might be the best side 1 of any record ever. Side 1 of Standing Hampton, absolutely killer. So this has got some really good songs on it. The title track, 3-Lock Box, Your Love Is Driving Me Crazy, that was a really good one. Man, Remember the Heroes, that was kind of a more of a soft ballady type track, if I remember right. But anyway, great album. I think I saw Sammy on this tour, and man, he was so good back in the day. But that trio of albums, Standing Hampton, Three Lock Box, and then VOA that was released after this, and I have it somewhere. That just a great run of good stuff from Sammy Hagar. And then continuing on, I think this might have been after VOA. This is the self-titled Sammy Hagar. After it was, there's another version of it out there though that was called I Never Went Away or something to that effect. I remember it being this self-titled version, but this was thrown together on Geffen. I think it was Geffen. This was like the oh, I didn't take Three Lock Box out, but it's just a plain sleeve. I think this one is too. Yeah, there's no lyric sheet or anything like that, which kind of bothers me. But whatever, it is what it is. But yes, this was the last record for Geffen, and it was contractually required for him to put one out before he left to go with Van Halen. But there's some really good stuff on here. The leadoff track, When the Hammer Falls, that's a good rocking track. Hands and Knees, Give to Live was the single off of this. Boys Night Out, that's rocking. What else do we have? Standing at the Same Old Crossroad. Eagles Fly. Eagles Fly is a great tune. That's on this record. So yeah, another good Sammy Hagar record from back in that late 80s, mid to late 80s period where the stuff he was putting out was just really good. Okay, let's get this one put back away. I'm going to give these Hagar records a spin right after I finish doing this video. I think can rekindle some memories from the 80s. And then this one was from the Bargain Bin. I wondered if this who this was. It's The Rumor. The album is Max, and I think it was Graham Parker. Was it Graham Parker and No. Graham Parsons. Graham Parsons and Rumor? Graham somebody. Anyway, The Rumor was the backup band for that guy. Again, embarrassingly, I should know. It's probably not Graham Parsons. That was more Southern rock. Graham Parker. You guys know. You know what I'm talking. The old good folks know what I'm talking about. Anyway, backup band for them. But this is kind of like a British pub rock kind of sound. What I did notice about it, because I always look at these things. I look at on the backs of records. I look at guest artist, what kind of information you can find from it. And the first thing that I noticed here was this was produced by Robert John Lang, Mutt Lang. So it's going to have that kind of sound. And it's decent. It was worth just a couple of bucks, which is all it was. And then to final things, I normally don't buy 12-inch singles. In fact, this might be the only one that I even own. But this one jumped out at me because this was just one of my favorite songs from back in the day by a band that probably nobody knows about. I think I've maybe showed this record in a video because there's a connection to some other things. But anyway, the song is called Megaforce. The band is called 707, and this is the 12-inch single for it. I've never seen this. I didn't know it even existed, and I had to take it home. But anyway, the band 707 had a guy in it named Todd Howarth. And also, writing credits on this are Kevin Russell, Todd Howarth, and Jonathan Cain. You might know Jonathan Cain from Journey. But Todd Howarth played with Fraley's Comet. And on Fraley's Comet debut album, there is another version of this song with different lyrics. It's like I said, it's a great song. This version was written for I don't know if it was written for or picked, but a movie came out of the same name, Megaforce. Really cheesy, but a lot of fun. Sci-fi movie. It was directed by, what's his name? The guy that did a lot of stunt movies with Burt Reynolds. So I think he did Cannonball Run. He did Smokey and the Bandit, and I can't think of the guy's name right now. Hal something. It's going to come to me. Anyway, that movie Megaforce. This was the theme song or theme for it, or the title track for it, and I've got that 707 album of the same name, Megaforce, somewhere, and it's really good AOR hard rock, melodic rock in the vein of like Journey and that type of thing. But again, I love this song. I always loved this song. So when I saw this, I figured I had to pick that up. So, okay, that is the haul from today. Just like a music junkie, just like a vinyl junkie, I went in to spend about $30, and I spent about 3 times that on stuff I don't really need, but I'm happy to have. You have to be happy. You know, going out and finding these records and picking them up and holding them and listening to them, it has to make you happy. And honestly, it's not that crazy expensive of a hobby if you are reasonable about things. And you know, I love it, and I probably do have a problem with it, but hey, we're all vinyl junkies. That's why we're here. It's why we watch each other's videos. It's why we do this stuff. So anyway, that's my haul for today. I appreciate you stopping by. If you've seen my other videos, thanks for supporting my channel. If you're new, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe. I'm still trying to get to 500 subscribers. That'll make me happy. That'll probably encourage me to continue doing these things, because I like just sitting down here and taking a few minutes to talk about records, talk about my favorite artists, and occasionally have an Iron Maiden Trooper beer. So with that, I appreciate you stopping by, and I'll see you next time. Bye.